Hello everyone and welcome to Lost in the Real. Today I am so excited to finally be able to talk spoilers for Love Victor Season 2. I'm going to be having this spoiler discussion with my dear friend Sarah Carey from the channel Smells Like Teen Angst. If you haven't checked out her channel yet, please make sure to do that after the video and subscribe. A link to the channel will be in the description below. So without further ado, let's talk some spoilers for Love Victor Season 2. Hello everyone, welcome to Lost in the Real. Today is a very exciting day. I have Sarah Carey from Smells Like Teen Angst here. Hi Sarah.
Hi Shawn, thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
I'm so excited too, especially since we're talking about Love Victor Season 2. We are going to be doing spoilers today. So if you have not seen the second season and you don't want to be spoiled, check out the non-spoiler review on the channel. But Sarah, let's dive right into it. What worked for you in this season?
Oh man, I'm gonna say, let me start here, that I think season 2 completely built on season 1. I don't think this season had a lull. I don't think there was any filler. I really liked the way that they dealt with Victor's relationship and all the newness that he was going through, because I think I forget, and I'm sure other viewers forget, that Venji has been out and has dated and done things, so everything is like new and special and exciting for Victor. I also really loved that this this season with the mom and the parents wasn't quite trauma porn as some queer stories can be, but the way that they handled both parents and the way that they dealt with Victor's coming out, I think they did it really beautifully.
Yeah, I absolutely agree on all of your points there. To me, what was so wonderful about this season is, and I said this about the first season too, because I just love Anna Ortiz, but her journey of acceptance was so profound for me. And I come from a really religious family, so so there was a lot of things about that journey for her that rang true when I came out to my parents. And so I love that. And I think going back to the film Love, Simon, there was almost something about that film. It was like almost, and I was happy for Simon, but it was almost so easy for him. And this coming out to me, like you said, it wasn't trauma porn, thank goodness, but it was, there was a little bit of a journey for both parents to understand and accept his sexuality, which I thought was great.
Yeah, same. And I love that, we even got a special guest with Josh Duhamel at the PFLAG meetings. I love that his father was like, he's my son, and the conversations he would have with his wife, and like, he's my son. If this is who he is, I have to accept it. And he's like, what do I do? Where do I go? Who do I speak to help me, kind of digest this and be there and love him? And I just loved the conversation they had at the bar together, where he's like, your son is still your son. Nothing has changed. And you still love basketball together. Like, all the things you did before are the same. He just happens to be gay.
Yeah, I'm so happy you brought up Josh Duhamel, because I was shocked that they brought him back, but I think that was the perfect cameo and the perfect time in the season to kind of, bring him in and to have him and Armando have that conversation in the bar. I was really surprised that Armando wasn't the one that had the difficulty. He was the one that was really like, yeah, he might have been like a little like uncomfortable with it, but he was very much so from the get-go, this is my son, I want to try to figure this out and go on this journey with him. Whereas Isabelle was the one who was like she was very, she really didn't understand it and had trouble with it, which I was really surprised with. But I liked that journey for both of the parents.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I like that they did separate them and let one be a little more accepting while the other one struggled a bit, because, and I love it that it was the father, because there is such like a Latinx stereotype of like the machismo when it comes to men. And the fact that and it made the wife surprised too. Like she even said like his machismo, did it get in the way? And I said that so horribly, but didn't get in the way. And I was like, yeah, it didn't. And she's stuck in this very like, is small-minded the right word, but very religious, Catholic, fire and brimstone, going to hell translation of the Bible. And I think it really took seeing his little brother being like, cool, like, yeah, you're gay. That's a thing. People are gay. Who cares? And like the mom saw how he had no reaction because she's like trying to protect him from this information the whole time. And she's like, wow. And I think I kind of love that was also a turning point. The fact that it wasn't just the preacher telling her that Victor was going to go to hell kind of was like, that's not enough for you. But the fact that it went to the little brother, and then that became the issue. And then him accepting his Victor, like her pieces and her story, I thought were lovely and frustrating and also very much resonated.
Yep, absolutely. All of my are perfect. Frustrating is such a perfect word for it too, because I think I said that word in my review, because at the beginning of the season, I'm like, what are you doing, Isabelle? Like, this is not okay. The way that you're treating him, the way that you're treating Venji, like, and how she, oh my God, when she threw the dinner away and was just like, you can go out and get pizza, like that, like my heart sunk.
Yeah, I literally saw that and went, wow.
Yeah.
First of all, we don't waste food. Second of all, like, it's just a meal. And then for her to be totally cool with Rahim, I'm like, did she not think he was gay? Or is it okay because it wasn't her son? You know what I mean? Like, they're singing.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, and I'm glad you brought that up, because I was thinking that too, but I've noticed this in life. There's a lot of people who are like, yeah, I have gay friends, or I love this gay person, but if it's their child and if it affects their child, they're like, oh, hell no. So with Venji, she was like, this is my son's friend, but boyfriend. So she didn't want to accept him, but Rahim wasn't Victor's partner, so it didn't really affect her life. So she could just be all buddy with him. And it shows you kind of the hypocrisy of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Like singing some show tunes at dinner. You're okay with this? Like, and I do want to talk about Rahim, because I really loved his character. Like, speaking of Rahim, I thought he was such a nice, like, refreshing character to put in, because I know the show takes place in Atlanta, correct?
Yes.
And they're like, he shows him grinders. It's like full, I'm assuming, I just say it. It's like Atlanta's full of queer men. And like, Benji's the only gay person or openly out person at the school until Victor, which I think is strange. As someone who grew up in the South, we had plenty of gay kids, but they just might not have been super out. But he's like the different kind of gay. I'm going to use this lightly. That's a terrible way to say that, but you see it when he meets the boy at the coffee shop, right? Where they're like, oh, he's a little bit too flamboyant for him, or he's a little bit too like feminine. And I just really like that he just kind of shows that there's such a spectrum of queer people, that they're not all just, letting their flame shine bright. They're not just all jocks that are undercover. They're not, just like Venji. And I really appreciated his character being so different than what we've seen on the show. That was my very long-winded way of saying I appreciated that his character is different than we've seen on the show.
Yeah, I love Rahim. What I said in my review is he added an extra layer of representation because it shows, there's not just, every gay person's not the same. Everyone is different, whether you're gay or not. But Victor and Venji, Victor's, very masculine for the most part, and Benji a little bit less so, but still very much so. Both are more masculine characters. So I was so happy to see Rahim, who, yeah, he's a little bit more effeminate and he likes his show tunes. And I also love that, it wasn't in your face either, like I'm here and I'm queer, which is totally fine. But it was another layer of representation that I really appreciated. And I loved his burgeoning relationship with Victor as well, which I definitely want to get into because I know that's what everyone's going to be like, oh my God, Victor and Benji is Venji. Venji. Yeah, I thought everyone in my comment section was pronouncing his name wrong, but no, that was my bad. That's the ship. It's Venji. And so what are your thoughts on Venji versus Vahim?
I'm like, is it going to be Vahim? It has to be, right? Like, Rahictor? Like, that's going to be terrible. Wait, no, we're not. We're taking that back. So it's so different, right? So I love Venji. I am still, even at the end of this, spoiler alert, if you haven't already been spoiled already, Victor's having to make a choice. I think Benji got the raw end of the deal because unfortunately, this is Victor's first relationship, first sexual experience. His mother was so horrible to him, and Victor really wasn't standing up to his mother for his boyfriend, his relationship, and his sexuality. And poor like Benji was like stuck under the thing, under a rug, like hidden. I don't know. And then, the writers did try to give Benji his own, he's keeping secrets too with his AA storyline. And I was like, what a cop out to try and make Benji a bad guy, that he's hiding having a sponsor. He's hiding being in AA. Like, we all remember that accident. And I understand why Benji feels ashamed a little bit. So I think in all of that being thrown at Benji, he got the raw end of the deal. But I still think, with Victor's mom coming to him and apologizing for her behavior and her actions, because when Benji, okay, we have to talk about this in this whole part right here. When the mom walks in, first of all, why do parents knock? Parents are always like, as they walk in, right? You have to knock, especially with teenagers, walks in, and that was a very risque moment, HULU, what she walks in on. I was very shocked. And then Benji basically goes off on Victor's mother. Mm-hmm. And I don't think it was unwarranted, but it also was not his place. No. So if he was trying to make this relationship work and his mother hadn't come around to him, as a mother, as a woman, we hold very tight grudges, mm-hmm. So he was very disrespectful to her. That was not his place to freak out on her like that. So I love that. Yeah.
See, that scene was shocking to me. I was just like you said, HULU, getting risque here. But I was very disappointed in Benji during that scene. I get why the writers decided to go that route because it's really testing Victor's relationship with Benji and also Victor's relationship with his mother and whose side he's going to take on that. That was kind of a little bit of a turning point for me with Benji. I still love the character of Benji, but that made me think, Benji is, he should know that he should be respectful to Victor's mother. And yeah, it's an awkward situation, but the way he talked to her was unacceptable to me.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I get it, but it should never have happened. Mm-hmm. He had just been kind of pushed too far because his mother had been treating him like garbage. But at the same time, it's your boyfriend's mom.
Exactly.
When it comes to Rahim, I think he's fun. He's also new. We learned that he's never kissed a boy, mm-hmm. Which I was like, that's very cute. I'm like, so he and Victor are very much on the same plane where when it comes to where they're at in their journey of figuring out who they are and who they want to be. Do I like them as a couple? I'm unsure. I feel like Rahim brings out a fun side to him. a little bit of excitement. They're skipping school and then going to Bordner's, which is a bar here in Los Angeles. I just think that's funny that they're using a very well-known bar because it is filmed in LA. So yeah, and I was like, to take him to the karaoke and have a good time. His mom already, here's the terrible part, his mom already likes him.
Right.
You know, so like that.
Venji getting the wrong end of the stick here. I feel like he, I don't know. I'm so conflicted with, Venji or Vahim.
It's okay. The names are hard.
I like both of them as a ship, and what I like about Venji is that, you know, I think Benji's a really good person, and he's been there with Victor through this whole coming out experience. But like you said earlier, he also is experienced, and it like, I know he's only like a year older, right, in the show, but
yeah, something like that.
The experiences that he has, he seems much more worldly than Victor does. So I think because of that, for me, it makes more sense for the Vahim thing to happen, because they're both new to the game and they can both experience, being out together for the first time. So that makes more sense to me. But there's a part of me that feels like they should just be friends.
I agree. I don't want a show where just because they're gay, they have to date.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, there's a gay character. Gotta go date him. Like,
for Victor to just pop on over to every new gay person that comes out of the closet, it just doesn't seem right to me. Even though obviously Rahim isn't just, they've created a relationship together. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like almost like I've become so close with Venji, and I hope that let's get to let's go to some of the other things first before we talk about the finale.
Okay.
I want to talk about Felix and Lake.
I love Lake. She is a character I thought in season 1 that I was not going to like.
Right?
Like, everything about her character, I was like, oh my God, she's obnoxious. But then she has become my favorite. I absolutely love her. I also really like Felix. I think Felix is like a lovely character. He's so funny and charming. Like, I would have had a crush on him in high school. Like, that's what he would have been, my guy. And I really like that we explored their stories a little more, especially with Felix and his mother.
Yes.
And that whole storyline of her being bipolar and him taking care of her basically his whole life. And I love what his mother said, because when I was watching it, I was like, who knows? He's upset at her now for breaking trust, but who knows? 10 years down the line, he might thank her, you know? And I'm glad they actually showed that in the show, because the mother, when she got the help she needed and she's on medication that she needs to function and understands why and has prioritized everything. Talking in my hands. She even says that, it's like, you should thank her. Like, I thank her, because if it wasn't for her, we'd still be stuck where we are. And she put her entire relationship with you on the line to do this for you.
Yeah, that scene, I mean, there were so many scenes this season, but that scene got me. Mm-hmm. And I was so pleased that Felix was able to, for us to really be able to understand who he is more and get another side of him, to see his home life. And everything made sense too. You know, there's a lot of things that happen in, teen shows, and I know you love them. But that
why would you say that?
They don't really make sense, like a plot progression will happen and it's like, that wouldn't happen in the real world. But what Lake did, everything makes sense. Why she did what she did to send the mom to the rehabilitation center or whatnot, and them breaking up, all of it makes complete sense, as sad as it is. But that scene when she talked to Felix, the mom, and said, like, I thank her so much, that was moving. But also I thought that was going to be the beginning of Felix and Lake getting back together, which we see is not the case at all.
No, and I just need to know, like, did I miss something? What is
I know what you're about to say.
Like, what is the timeline that we're on? Like, how many days passed? And it's not that I don't like Pilar and Felix. I think that actually could be a really great relationship. I just don't believe it on his end quite yet. Yeah. I think he very much saw her as his best friend's sister, and then like becoming his own good friend, you know, like that he can open up to, which happens. I'm like, you know, as people, we have different friends we go to for different things, right? Like if you need the good news, like the good positive reinforcement, you go to this person. If you need someone to tell you like it is, you go to that person. You know what I mean?
So, yeah.
And I felt like Pilar was like a certain person for him. And then for him to be at this wedding, having this beautiful moment with his mom, or like, and like Pilar just kissed his mom on the bench, and now he's like, oh, she likes me. Huh? What I might want to process this. And then have like this amazing moment with his mother, and then go to the wedding and have this lovely moment with her, and then see the fish in his pocket, and that's the thing that makes him go, actually, I'm in love with Pilar. I was like, this doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah. And it's not as satisfying.
Remember how I just said, like, I love how them breaking up and that whole thing seemed realistic? Felix going to Pilar was not realistic. The progression of that made no sense to me, even though Pilar is one of my favorite characters of the show. I adore her. I think she's so funny. I feel like she would have been the girl that I was friends with in high school. I adore her. But I feel like this whole season, the only character development we really get with her is that she's friends with Rahim, and that she also likes Felix and has a crush on him. There's nothing else that was really given to her besides those two things. And then for him to all of a sudden like fall for her, that did not make sense. That seemed way too rushed for me.
Yeah, I think that should have been a season 3 thing. Like keep their like tension of a friendship. Let Lake and Felix get back together after all of this, and then something else happens to break them up. But it just wasn't enough of a relationship build for me over these handful of episodes between Felix and Pilar. It just doesn't. I agree with you. It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. Why? I don't know. And like I said, I don't know. At the end of the day, I would like to see Pilar get a much bigger storyline.
Me too.
And you know, go off and have her own thing and her own adventure. I know there's a lot of people who are all about Pilar and Felix getting together, but I really like Lake and Felix together. And what she did for his mother, I feel like proved how much she cares about him and his family and his well-being. So I don't know. I was kind of sad by that.
Yeah. And then for them to kind of like, I guess she's going to be bisexual out of nowhere. I mean, I was watching it with, if you've watched my channel, I'm watching it with Kiki. Everyone knows she's my roommate. And she's like, I don't know. I've always kind of got like a bi vibe from her from season 1. I was like, really? I didn't. So like now
That's what I thought you were going to say. Like, did you miss something? Because that's what I said to myself. I was like, did I miss something? And first of all, I was like, wait, who is that girl that's at the wedding? And then I'm like, okay, wait, that was, if I'm correct, that's Lucy who was dating Andrew, right?
Correct. Yes.
And then all of a sudden she's bisexual, and then all of a sudden Lake is bisexual, or maybe, you know, now that that whole thing, I was like, and I am all about having, you know, showing every facet of the LGBTQ experience. I want it. I'm all here for it. But that came out of nowhere. It was just, I was confused.
I'm like, maybe we missed something. I don't know. I was like, was it her hint to be like, oh, I should feel something. I should care about when I forgot her name. The girl that
Lucy.
we dated, Lucy, was talking with Mia, and she's like, oh, I should probably feel strange, right? The fact that you guys kind of had a thing, but I don't. So I don't really care about this relationship. I was like, was that supposed to be the hint?
It wasn't enough. They really needed to like build up, because Lucy all of a sudden disappeared. Like after Mia and Andrew got together, she disappeared, and then all of a sudden she's quitting, you know, bartending or whatever, and then like her and Lake are gonna have a thing. that just was out of left field for me.
Yeah, I think that the writers were like, we can't just have Lake be alone. People will be really angry. And so we got to do something. And that's what it felt like. It's like, we just have to do something. And I didn't like it. I didn't like it.
It wasn't enough because I love her character so much, and I'm not buying it yet. I mean, maybe in the third season they'll really build it up and it could be something really special, but to tag that on in the last few minutes of this season, it didn't work for me.
Yeah, agreed, 100%. Can we also talk about what else didn't work? Was Mia this season.
Yeah, I know.
And the actress is so lovely. She does what she can with this character, and I feel like the writers just hate her. And
not doing her any favors at all.
No, they like the whole first few episodes, I'm like, the girl had dated Victor for a few months and then had to disappear to a summer camp for the summer, and she's still not over it. When Mia was trying to hook up with the basketball player whose name I have forgotten. What's his name that she's with now? Andrew. Yeah. So while she and Victor were dating, she was kind of almost about to hook up with Andrew the whole time. And then she's so angry about Venji and Victor kissing. That whole story arc didn't make sense. All of her anger pointed at her father and the woman he's going to marry, didn't make sense in season 1. So I was really hoping season 2 would expand on her character more now that it's no longer wrapped up in Victor. And I feel like they just didn't do that. So okay, cool. So she's mad at her dad for always choosing his job. I get that. Her mom, she's heard from she's now dating the guy that she likes, but she's still so angry at the world and has zero character development throughout the entire season. I'm like, what are you doing with her?
Yeah. So what I think the show, we were just talking about how the show almost went too quick in the timeline with some of these characters. I feel like with Mia, they didn't give her enough and it's going too slow. I feel like at the end, now she's going to go see her mom. I feel like they could have put that in this season, her meeting her mom, and then that could have really built up her character and her relationship with her dad. Is she going to move in with her mom now, or she's going to go to California with her dad? That all would have worked. And I just felt like they did nothing with her besides the fact that she's with Andrew, who I love their relationship together, but she's so damn angry all the time.
Yeah, they had her date a college guy and lie about her age.
That guy was mean.
Oh, God. And then had her still so angry at the summer camp. And then, I was just like, what? You guys are making her the worst character. And that's really hard. And the actress is doing such a lovely job with what she's given. And I feel bad for her. Because come on, writers, can we give Mia something else to do? Yeah.
I completely agree. And I loved this season. I feel like we're talking about a lot of negatives right now. But
I know. We have to. We can't just say all the good things. It's not a perfect season, but that doesn't make it less enjoyable.
Exactly. Beautifully said. One other issue I did have with this season, I don't know how you feel about this, but Felix and Victor. To me, I loved the first season so much because I thought the writers did such a beautiful job of observing what a friendship between a straight man and a gay man can be. And that's really important to me because I have a lot of straight friends in my life and, straight dude friends, and they are my backbone. I love them. And I thought Love Victor really was just beautifully observed in that way. Mm-hmm. And I feel like they just dropped the ball in their friendship this season. I feel like they, there was so little time with Victor and Felix. It was all about, the relationship drama. And they did have that really nice scene in the finale, talking about close your eyes and imagine who you're going to end up with kind of thing. But it wasn't enough for me. How do you feel about that?
I agree with you. And I actually didn't even notice until you just said that. I'm like, you're right. We dove into everyone's lives separately, but not them so much together. And part of me wonders if that was part of the journey Victor had to go on, right? So the phone call he has with Simon at the end was, when I first came out, I thought I was alone. And then not being able to, and I only had you. And then so being able to only not talk to you right now when all of this was going on in my life, I had to realize I did have friends that I could come to. So I feel like that was done on purpose.
Interesting. I like that.
But I agree with you that it's so weird. I probably should have noticed all of that, and I didn't. I think they kind of like bookend it. You have them there with like Lake and everybody in the beginning for the summer, right? Yes. So like you think he's there, and then they go on their own journeys, and at the end they come back. So like they were there the whole time. You never knew.
Yeah, I love your point about his conversation with Simon, though. And I know some people are going to be sad because that this probably means that Simon won't be in it anymore, and that means no more Nick Robinson. But I think it is the perfect time for Victor to kind of cut that cord because it's almost him saying like, I have my own voice now. I don't need your advice. Thank you for everything you've done for me, but it's time for me to make my own decisions. And I think that was really well done.
I agree. And you can see Simon agrees and smiles, and he's like, just don't be a stranger. And he's like, yeah, you got it. So like, let him go. Let him fly.
Spread his wings. Okay, Sarah, so I really want to know, what do you think happened at the very end? Whose door is Victor at, and who do you hope that it is?
Personally, I really hope it's Venji's door. I do. I think that they deserve a second chance at happiness now that like the smoke has cleared. You know what I mean? Now that the drama is kind of gone, the fact now that his mother is accepting his parents, like Victor's life is kind of coming back together, right? It was in such turmoil in season 1 and through season 2 with his parents' separation, then it's coming out and everything that Venji, in his moment of like being frustrated, I think was also valid. He's like, you don't realize what I put up with to be with you, and I don't make you feel bad about it. And so, but all of those things that he has to like put up with are done. Yep. In a way, like his mother is finally accepting her son and letting go of all this old traditional things that have been ingrained in her, and that was a huge obstacle for them. Will that image of the two of them ever not be burnt in her brain? Probably not. I can't even imagine. I really do, and I really hope that that's what the writers do. As much as I like Rahim, I agree with the point you made earlier. I want them to just be friends. Can they date later after he and Venji kind of like really do go through like, or have run their course? It can happen. I don't want to see a relationship between Victor and Rahim. I think I don't know. I don't want it. I want him to be at Venji's door. What about you?
I am so right there with you. I think it's important that the writers do this because for so many different reasons. Number one, I think that there's a possibility that they could do a spinoff called Sincerely Rahim and have his own journey. And Pilar could be like a really big part of that spinoff show. That's something that I would personally love to see. The more love Victor, the better, to be honest. Yeah. But I just don't think that Victor and Vahim should be a thing. I think that especially because we already have seen Felix and Pilar now have their thing, which that was built up this season. And then if Victor is at Rahim's door, then pretty much everything that happened in the first season, all of this character development, all this, these relationships building, they won't really matter because Benji's going to be gone, and then Lake and Felix's relationship is going to be gone too. So I really think it's important, writers, if you're listening, that Victor is at Benji's door. Their relationship is not over yet. Their story is not over yet.
No, and I do think there's something to say about right person, wrong time. Mm-hmm. And if that's the direction they want to go, fine. But I won't be happy. I want it. Yeah. I'll be very disappointed if it's Rahim's door. I will. Because then the season's just going to be so messy. And that's kind of one of the things I enjoy about Love, Victor is it's messy, but in a contained way. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
And if you break up Lake and Felix and he's with Pilar and now they're at school together, and then you break up Venji and Victor and he's with Rahim and now everyone's at school together and all in their teen feels, which I love. But sometimes it's too much. I only need one love triangle. I don't need 5, and that's what I worry about.
Yeah, I definitely worry the writers going off the rails if they try to do Victor and Rahim. And I really like that you said the contained, because there is drama in this show. There is, the teen angst, but it's a lot different, I think, than a lot of other, freeform television shows, CW shows out there, because it is very much so, like, I feel like everything that happens in this show could happen in real life, and it's not out of the realm of possibility. And I love that about this show. So yes, Victor and Venji.
Victor and Venji. I need Venji forever and always. Well, not forever. They can break up when they go to college, but I think they need to finish out this story. And I think it would not do them justice to all their history if they break them up right now.
Completely agree. Well, Sarah, this was amazing.
I loved doing this. This was so good. I loved it.
It was so much fun, and I have been dying to talk about this show with somebody because no one else has seen it. So this was amazing. And hopefully when season 3 happens, we can do this again.
I would love to. It's a date.
Beautiful. Dates. Sarah, do you want to tell everybody about your channel?
Oh, sure. So we at Smells Like Teen Angst review and make lists about everything teen angsty. And that covers all sorts of genres, because really, have you ever watched a horror movie that doesn't have some teen angst in it? So yeah, that's what teen angst, adult angst. I mean, really, we all love it.
Yes,
that's basically we do. Us. That's us. It smells like teen angst. And it's not just me. It's me and a gaggle of my friends.
Yeah, everything's amazing on the channel. Absolutely. So please check out Sarah's channel, Smells Like Teen Angst. Once again, Sarah, thank you so much for joining me, and we will see everyone soon.